In this tutorial, we take a look at the word relationship. The part of the concept customer relationship management, we look at relationship management. In other words, when we form relationships with customers, what do we mean by that? Is there a scientific process to this? This is the first part. The second part, we look at the relationship between relationship and profitability. If you have relationships with customers, they must also be profitable customers. There's no point in establishing a strong relationship with somebody that's not profitable. So we look at that relationship and we look at how to move a customer from prospect to business partner. So what would the beginning of a relationship entail and what would the end of this relationship entail? Let's have a look. As mentioned, in this part of the custom relationship management session, we work specifically with the relationship management part. Now, where you manage relationships in business, we need to move this relationship constantly and progressively to a next level. The first part is the prospect. This is when somebody has not done business with you before, but you need to persuade this person to come on board and to become part of your system or your business or your institution. The next level would be the purchaser or the networking liaison. In other words, somebody who's done business with you or who's benefiting from you. Then we move this person to a client or customer. This is the person who you repeat business with. The person's not negative, but is just neutral. The fourth level would be the level of supporter, where the person starts liking your organization and telling other people about it. The advocate is when the person actively recommends you to others, markets you. And the partner, well, that's the person who doesn't see any separation between him or her and the organization. To them, they are part of your organization. They help with the sponsoring of your organization and they see themselves needing you as much as you need them. This is the relationship ladder of loyalty. Now, we need to find strategies in customer relations management on how to move these people from prospect to partner. And that is the challenge that we face here. The relationship development model can also be depicted on the model which you see on your screen currently. We start with the prospect. This is where we need to start building a basic level of trust, and we need to encourage this person to invest with you. Then we've got the exploratory phase where we need to start routinizing this and start getting the person on board. Development phase is when there's mutual understanding. Both of you are in a phase where you are prepared to stick around with each other and to support each other. Commitment is when it's institutionalized. In a small shop who sells printing material, for instance, or cartridges, you would get your cartridges on a monthly basis. If it's a doctor that you always visit, well, then it's institutionalized. If it's an ultimate partnership, then you become an advocate and there's minimum maintenance in this. Now, you would see that the previous model, the ladder which I shown to you previously, is more sales-based, where the model that I currently present to you is more business-to-business relationship-based or customer-based. The reality is that you can bend this model in any way you wish. You could turn this model into anything you want it to be, as long as you know that when you work with customers, you literally have to move them from one level to the next, to the next, to the next. So and you have to define these levels. You have to know what the levels are to which you're moving them. So this is the crux of custom relationship management, is to determine these levels, define these levels, and know exactly what your strategy is to move your customers from one level to the next. Now that you've developed your relationship levels, for argument's sake, on the left of the model on your screen, which I developed to understand the relationship between profitability and customer relationship, I've got prospect, exploratory or purchaser, development or supporter, commitment or advocate, institutionalized or partner. It doesn't matter. You can put anything there that makes sense to you. I recommend a 5-point scale, and I recommend that you stick along the lines of what we've got there, but you could really define this as you wish. But very importantly, we need to ask ourselves, now that we've got this relationship ladder, how do we relate this to profitability? Because at the end of the day, the purpose of the customer is always there to sponsor you. Even in government institutions, we need citizens to pay tax. In non-profit organizations, we need sponsors to give us money for our projects. In any type of organization, you basically need some type of sponsorship. So there needs to be a profitability. Now, the profit relating to the relationship profit is very simple. It's very low. In other words, there's a very low profit, medium, high, or very high profitability from a specific customer or customer segment. Now, the model is very simple. It tells us that where a customer is not very profitable and the relationship is not very strong, there's a marketing problem. So your company needs to go and market. You're not attracting enough. You're not giving customers enough reason to consider your business or service. Where there's high profitability but low relationship, weak relationship, then it means that your customer relations management is not in order. You're not retaining customers. You're not keeping them. You need to work on your relationship. So CRM needs to play a prominent role. Where your relationship is extremely strong, but customers are not very profitable, then it means there's weak sales. You've got these people, they believe in you, they're there, but you're not selling anything to them. So you could literally, by comparing relationship to profitability, understand what to do. Should we sell more? Should we market more? Should we have stronger relationships? Of course, where there's high relationship value and strong profitability, there's good customer management. Now, exactly the same model could also tell us, as you see on your screen, that where relationship and profitability grows at the same pace, then it's a natural process where you start with marketing, you attract your customers, you go to sales where you acquire the customers and you keep them there through customer relationship management. So in a very healthy system, this would be the case. We attracted them, we acquired them, we retained them. And that keeps a healthy relationship between the customer relationship level and the profitability of that customer. If your aim is to buy a customer relations management CRM system or to get somebody to program such a system for you, there's a lot of options, but I think you need to get the basics right. Now, the first thing is that you need to tell the supplier or the people who's going to program this for you that you need this ladder. You need this ladder of customer development, relationship development. And obviously, when you program something and you're going to measure something, it needs to be quantified. So we need to go and quantify each category or each layer or level in this ladder. As a rule of thumb, I would give prospect 0 to 20, exploratory 21 to 40, development 41 to 70, commitment 71 to 90, and ultimate 91 to 100. You would see that they're not in equal parts. There's a reason for that. It must be very difficult to push somebody to ultimate partnership. In other words, I give ultimate partnership the least points. It mustn't be easy to get a customer there. That should be a constant task and a constant push. So this is just a basic on how to develop a system. Obviously, you're not going to or maybe you are going to program it yourself. I can't. But what I do know is I know the basics. So if I work with a company where I assist them in developing a program such as this, I'll have the IT guy there, but also have the CRM expert there. You need both. IT people are not CRM experts. They cannot necessarily program the best customer relations management program just because they know how to program. You need somebody there who understands the fundamentals of this. So on your screen, there's a good model. Have a point system. Also, other things that you have to look at. Let's look at the next slide. You need to have a weighting system for your categories, and you need to attach each weight to a specific strategy. Let me explain this. Now, you've given a point system here. You've said that ultimate partnership is 91 to 100 for argument's sake, which means that if we go through categories and we can say yes to all these categories, then they must add to more than 91 to say that, well, this customer or client is our ultimate partner. Now, here you'll see that I've got just an imaginary or weight distribution. You'll also see that it doesn't necessarily add to 100, and there's a reason for that. Because different categories could have different dimensions in the same category. I could, for instance, say, let's say that my job is to draw blood. I'm a blood service, and people who draw blood, I need to get more blood from people, such as businesses. Then I would say, all right, this telephone company is a good advocate for the National Blood Service, and they give 10 pints of blood per week on average, which means that category 1 might be 10 pints, category 0 to 10, category 2 could be, 11 to 20 and so forth. So you could have a number of 1, 2 and 3 could all amount to the same category. So I can't get points for each of them. I would either get 8 or 18 or 27. And you know, at the end of the day, the maximum of your calculation should be 100. Each of these are aligned with a specific strategy. So if I say no to characteristic 1, then strategy S1 is what I should do to get yes there. If I get no on strategy or characteristic number 9, then strategy 10, S10, is the one that I have to implement there. This system helps us. If you build a specific strategy for each category, then when your customer relations officers go and they rate your customer relationship system, then for each category which they do not adhere to, they could follow a specific strategy, which means that you do not only tell people where your customer is in terms of the relationship, more than that, you actually tell them what to do to move them up. Now, I know that this is a very quick explanation for something quite complex here. Maybe it's simpler for me because I've done this in many organizations and I've helped many IT organizations to establish this. Well, if you want to do something like this, maybe it's a good thing to phone me. My number's on my website. I hope that this session has at least helped you to understand the relationship development model, and that customer relationship is more than just sales. It is actually a methodology of moving your customer from one level to the next and having very clear strategies for this. Hope to see you in the next session.